Hi there guys, this is Roscoe back again with another review. This time it's of the Prime One Studios Big Game Predator cover art version. And this is also the deluxe edition that was available through Prime One's website. I think this Predator was shown in Big Game issue number 3 from memory. So it looked like the jungle, but the Prime One haven't really kept with that line, whereas Cracked Tusk Predator, the Big Game, they're they pay a lot of tribute to those covers and they're pretty close. Whereas this one, they've taken some liberties and gone more realistic look to that Predator. Not sure it was just a licensing issue and they've found a way around to getting this sort of done in 1/4 scale. But yeah, we've got more of a film version of that comic Predator. So here it is. It was pretty exciting. A couple years ago this was shown. It blew everybody away. But until recently, we were surprised that it came out so early. It's been a couple of years, but usually these pieces we expect about 3 years with the intricacies it has. But it was released, there's a lot of worries and concerns. I'll address a few of those shortly. But yeah, if you're getting this piece, make sure you've got big enough room for the 2 boxes it comes in. Pulling them apart and like polystyrene all over the place. Yeah, it's just parts galore. So let's get in and take a closer look. Right, so I have him currently displayed with the standard biomass. This comes with the regular edition. It's quite big. The base isn't too bad for its size. It's got quite a bit of weight to it. But the Predator on this one is quite heavy. It's bigger than your Sideshow 1/4 scale Predators from the past. I wouldn't say it's quite 1/3, but it's a really thick 1/4, slightly bigger than 1/4 in hand. The City Hunter I reviewed last week, it dwarfs that, definitely. They're a little bit out of scale with each other. Yeah, so we've got to assemble this, the shoulder cannon that goes in. Everything on this piece locks in really well. It's very solid. So you got the plasma cannon that takes cell batteries and you can light that up. This biomass you can remove off that head sculpt and put some batteries in it and light up the tri-laser. I know in another review that was done, the regular had these trophies already assembled on the body. And we had some concerns when I opened the box that they were missing. Because they weren't on the body, whereas I think the Deluxe, maybe earlier on, they just decided to put them somewhere else in the box. They were hidden under some foam, under the netting pouch that he comes with. So they were in the box, but yeah, I got a bit worried for a while. We couldn't find them. But yeah, it shows you how to assemble them. Then the instructions for that aren't actually on the leaflet. There is a side bit of instructions pretty much taped to the polystyrene. So you've got that bandolier sort of spine that goes, you have to loop it over his arm. You got the other bandolier that goes over the other side of his arm, and then you got the necklace before you put on the head sculpt. The 2 wrist blades, they feel like metal. You got to put that in. Got the hand sculpt there. The body's all one solid piece. This hand comes with part of the spear, and you have to attach this here and this here. So this is what's shown on the cover art. Now this is a Prime One bonus exclusive they announced not long after pre-order went up. So if you ordered specifically through Prime One's website, they gave you that. So that's quite cool, but I'll be going with the spine look because that'll look great going alongside the Hunter's Victim, which will be released soon as well. The dead body on the tree. So the base is quite cool. It is very intricate. There's a lot of different twigs and branches you've got to click on in certain sections, and you have to put the snake on. All these different plants, they're really poorly labeled. It says put plant A, plant B, plant C, and so on in this section, but the plants aren't labeled at all. You just have to go off, you know, what they look like through various pictures and hope for the best. They do have wire in it as well, notice. So when you first put them in, they look very flat and doesn't look natural. But in some of the smaller ones, you can bend them slightly. There's wire down the base of the plant, and you can actually give it some shape. The resin is there. It's hard to see on camera, it's quite clear, but it's very glossy and shiny in person. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Is it perfect? No. I'll get to a few things shortly, but if you were to reflect this as a comic version, it is amazing, outstanding. Doesn't look like a comic book character at all. But if you're going 100% realistic, I still think the original Sideshow maquette is a little bit more sort of lifelike in realism. As this sort of, the mask, for example, doesn't look like metal and things like that. It looks like it has been painted. So little things like that, just as subtle things. And it's missing some green and things on the armor. If you watch the original film, these armor, even though it's grey, has a lot of green shades on it and olive. A lot of companies miss that and don't do it. But this is a big guy. All right, here we have the rear of this piece. Flowing dreads, his med kit. Now this is solid sculpt. It's not fabric like previous pieces and maquettes that have been made. You've got quills on his back. So a lot of quills have been put on this piece, different places. Sorry I've got on the floor here, guys. It's just way too heavy to put on the counter and risk having to move it later. I'd rather just be able to put on something and find its final resting place from here rather than taking it off a glass counter. So just makes it easy for me to turn it around as well. You can see all the foliage there. See, there's a part you got to put in. It's very heavy. It's hard to see down here. You got the scorpion. Nice subtle Easter egg from the film. As well as the snake, even though that snake wasn't in the film. There was a boa constrictor in the film. Alright, so here is the other head sculpt you get with the regular version. Same as the helmet I just showed you on the piece. Now, one of the letdowns for me is probably these open, unmasked sculpts in person. Sculpt's not 100% correct to the film, especially now you can compare it to the 1:3 scale they announced. That is spot on. These did look really great with the prototype, but I think we've lost a bit of quality through production. It's a shame because other Predators, the decals were put on amazingly well, especially Fugitive. This one looks a little bit all over the place and messy. The brown dotting is all blending together. It's not really a pronounced black sort of triangular shape through the middle. And it's like a beige. It looks straw here, but in person it's more of a browny grey look to it. So the quills also, they look blunt, like they've been trimmed. They were sharp in the film and sort of stop in certain sections, and there's plenty on there, but yeah, just if you look at Fugitive and City Hunter, they've done really well, but here I feel like they're just a little bit, I don't know, they just don't look right. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the Deluxe heads. All right, so here we have the two head sculpts you get with the Deluxe, as well as that bonus item, which was the spear. You get these two head sculpts and two spare headstands, which is great. You get the closed mouth, which is my personal favorite out of the unmasked sculpts. Huge fan of the closed mouth Predators because, you know, everyone seems to do the open mouth. It gets a bit repetitive. Once again, you still got the same issue with the head there. A lot of people got, or some early collectors had this all, you know, sort of all crooked, which is bad. This isn't crooked, but it's just the patterning isn't right. Could be done a lot better, in my opinion. But on the piece, it looks great. Individually, looking at and analyzing it as a accessory, there's a lot of things they would have done to make it a little bit more realistic. Like add a bit more gloss, things like that. It does look a little bit dry. And you also get the Gort mask. And for those who are unaware of Gort, a lot of people are calling this a comic mask, which is not true. It's the original mask that was going to be shown on the Predator, but they thought that it was going to reveal too much of the Predator's face before the mask came off. So there was a last minute decision to change it to the other one that we all know and love. So yeah, this if you search online, Gort mask, you'll see this actually on Kevin Peter Hall's suit that he's wearing. But they later eventually used this in Predator 2. So you see it as one of the lost tribe members on the ship. So they reused it. But yeah, we almost got this as our Predator mask, but yeah. It's a nice touch for Prime 1 to add that little, another really Easter egg, a little bit of fandom there to the piece. Here you have my hand, so quite big. All right, so here are some of the accessories that he comes with. Now these will all come with the standard edition as well as the Deluxe. You got a relaxed hand there for the left side. He only comes with one right hand, so you'll need that on the piece at all times. But you got this sort of relaxed on there if you want a similar pose to the other side. You got this clenched fist, which will be used to hold this netting. So I'm pretty sure in the comic he has that. You got the skulls, so Prime 1 showed these skulls in the bag and held by that hand. So that's cool. You get multiples of 2 each one. So another nice little Easter egg of Mac where he gets shot in the film there as well. So I've seen these on the base as well, but I think, you know, that could be an accident waiting to happen, them rolling off the base and smashing. So as cool as it looks, I'm not sure if I'd do that. You also get Hopper's dog tag. He's the Green Beret that was killed before Dutch's team arrived. So that'll look good with the, you can put that in the base down here with the blood. So that'll look cool down there, or with the Hunter's Victim, which I mentioned I'll be getting as well. You also get this awesome hand holding the skull and spine. That's quite gruesome, which is what the Predator's all about. Also got these 2 little tiny pieces here. So these are in the box as well. They click on really hard, like with a magnet as well. So this piece overall is amazingly, you know, put together. There I have him now with the closed mouth sculpt, which also looks awesome. Yeah, they've done an amazing job with quality as per usual with Prime 1. As I mentioned, there are pieces galore. I'll show you the instruction leaflet soon. It's very vague and pictures are very dark. Nothing's labeled with the plants. But yeah, so that's a bit of a pain to put them all together. But yeah, quite a heavy piece. But in saying that, I've never seen so many people get so hot for a piece for a number of years and just sort of completely don't want it anymore as much as I have with this piece. For a hardcore Predator collector, it's definitely something I still wanted to go along with and complete my order. Had it paid off well over a year ago though, so it wasn't a problem with funds. But yeah, I know a lot of people noticed that 1.3 being announced and they just saw how amazing that was compared to this, and people were concerned with the quill issues and the decals on the head and things like that. So a lot of people were a bit worried, and I know for a fact some people have cancelled their order and are waiting for the 1.3, which would be at least a couple, 2 or 3 years off. But yeah, I remember Prime 1 saying a couple years ago they're going to produce a piece to rival the Cinemaquette. And this being 1.4, about 2 months after they said that, this was announced and shown. So, you know, the Prime One said they wanted to take their time with it, so I didn't understand that this would be it. As cool as it looked, you know, we all know Prime One can do an amazing stuff, and their transformers, for example, are absolutely amazing and 100% film accurate. So, you know, this going from the comic license, I'm like, oh, and you think they'd get the film license to do one somehow. So, and a couple of years later, here we go. They've been working on it behind the scenes and taking their time with a 1/3 scale, which they've rendered over the top of the film suit and used lots of references. And that's probably the best, most accurate Predator I've ever seen in a statue. And when people say rival the Cinemaquette, sort of annoys me a bit. The statue is 12 years old now, and that's been like a standard for nearly everybody to live up to with different licenses, how good that statue's done. Not just because it's a Predator statue, just the quality of it and the water and things like that. And, you know, it's taken 12 years for someone to try and, well, I'm going to say the word appropriate it. They haven't really done their own Prime. I don't think they've taken a lot of, you know, things from the Cinemaquette that makes it great, and, you know, doing their own version. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, there's people saying it's more accurate than Cinemaquette, but they don't realize the Cinemaquette was made by Steve Wang the way he wanted the Predator to be. So it's an artwork, in my opinion. It's not meant to be something that's going to be beaten. It is exactly how it was intended to be made. So as a Predator collector, having a concept by Steve Wang, I'll always love that piece, no matter what, and keep it in the collection, despite also wanting the 1/3 scale from Prime One. That's film accurate. So that's just my thoughts on that issue, where a lot of people are saying, oh, this is a Cinemaquette killer, things like that. You know, I don't buy into all that stuff. The Cinemaquette is an amazing statue, and having this in hand, this does not rival that. So yeah, I would have thought, you know, Prime One were doing something else, and they have. So, but this is definitely better than Sideshow's latest attempt, the maquette. The original Stan Winston maquette from Sideshow with the mask on, I think, still more accurate than this. This is an imposing present piece, or got a lot of presence. It's really well done. He's chunky, he's big, it's a quality statue. But they did scan that from the original film suit, so we all know that that maquette is 100% accurate besides the shoulder cannon. But this is an amazing piece. Also, another thing I've noticed on different forums and Facebook and things like that, people saying it's exclusive. They're getting confused between exclusives and regulars and things like that. This is the Deluxe, so it comes with lots more accessories than your regular. They're saying, why is this, you know, got 800 exclusives and there's only 250 regulars? Well, it's not an exclusive, it's a Deluxe, which means you get extra parts, but you have to pay for those parts. So more people ordered that edition. So we got 800 of these. Mine's number 18. Whereas the regular is just like normal. A lot less people ordered the regulars, would have got them through various suppliers other than Prime One. Whereas your exclusives are the same price as the regulars, but they only make a limited amount of maybe 1 or 2 extra parts, and you got to get in quick before they sell out. So yeah, Deluxe and exclusive are different, but your regular's the same, of course. But yeah, that's just something that I sort of observed and a lot of people getting a bit confused by. So here we have the assembly instructions, you know, which some parts seem straightforward, but if you look at these pictures, it's just very dark. Hard to know where things are going. You're pretty good in regards to the Predator and the spears and the hand and the body, things like that. You get down to the greenery, this sort of stuff. It's really hard to figure out where they go. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think just set yourself a whole afternoon to put this together. As I said, there's 2 boxes, large boxes, opened in multiple layers and trays. It's going to be boxes and wrappings and polystyrene everywhere, plus the piece and all the parts. Yeah, sort of where everything's located in the box. Those people that don't have this in hand, you can sort of have a quick look where everything is. So the box 1, you got the body, 2 headstands and some plants, the regular biomask that comes off and on, the snake, and then and on the top of box 1 you got all the hands and the spear, another headstand, some more greenery and the branches, little bits that go on the spine, the skull, things like that. So plasma cannon. And then in box 2 you got the base and the 4 head sculpts and the skulls if you got the deluxe version. They would have come with 2 if you had the regular. As you see here, H, I, J, K, all these different plants. The plants all nearly look the same. They don't have that distinct difference you see here. So it can be a bit tricky putting them together and figuring out where they go. But yeah, set yourself some time aside and yeah, you'll get there. All right, so just for a size comparison with the so-called 1/4 scale City Hunter, you can see the size difference between this piece and that. Now, once again, I'm not sure if it's just because it's the comic license, they did everything a little bit bigger, or it's not meant to match, this being a wall art piece on the right, so the scales are off. The P2 is sort of like a compact piece, but has got some presence, whereas this thing's just a giant next to it. Look at the legs on City Hunter, and you go look at it on Jungle, they're twice the size, twice as thick. It's a massive difference. So if you want to get these two to sort of pair together, probably not gonna, go too well. Another tip also, seeing a few videos and people not putting the heads on properly can be a little bit tricky. I've noticed that at least one of the dreads under the head sculpt itself sort of comes in and under the peg. So that's something you might have to maneuver out of the way, especially putting them on the headstands. But getting it on, you really have to sort of angle the head this way and slide these dreads in first, and so then just turn the head and then lock it in. Some people just try to sort of put it straight down, I've noticed, and they've nearly lost the head. So that's a little tip if you're getting this piece. Sort of tilt that right side in first, and that will make it a lot easier and more secure, and that magnet will snap in and lock it in. They are quite difficult to get off with those powerful magnets. All right, so here are the 2 art boxes. So you get the base and 4 heads in a large box, and you get everything else in that smaller box. So got the deluxe tag on the top left of each one of the Gort mask. So the art on these look amazing. Now going off this picture, you sort of see it's a bit of a shame we didn't get that quality sort of paint there. You saw the quills are really sharp and spiky there when they're not in person. They're a bit blunt and a little bit thick. So that's probably the main letdown for me with this piece, is the unmasked sculpts. But overall, they are very nice still on the piece. So let's turn around, have a look. Got a nice picture of the regular mask. The regular mask is really well done. I really do like that. So more accurate attempts at the biomask from that film. The larger one, we have the Gort. And the only problem with it coming in 2 boxes, I got this box yesterday. They didn't fit this one on the plane, so I had to wait an extra day to get the rest of the parts. So a little bit of pain when you only get half a piece at once, but yeah, got it today and I'm still trying to take it all in, but overall it's an impressive piece, and I'm sure that those people that order it and have it coming will really love it. All right, guys, what I'm going to do is show you the Gort mask on the piece, and then I'll put on the open mouth, and then we'll finish up. So we have the Gort mask, which is a breath of fresh air for those people that have got lots of preds. This is the first time it's been offered, so if you've got lots with all the other sculpts and the regular sort of head, the regular biomass, this would be great to show. or display. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Once again, love the water in the base. It is there. A lot of people worried that it wasn't in the final production, but gives us some faith that that 1/3 scale will have an excellent water base. God, is crystal clear, and it does look like water there. So there we have it. So there's the Gort mask, and let's just have a quick look at the open mouth. All right, here we have the open mouth sculpt. Looks pretty cool. To be honest though, out of having all four on the piece now while filming, this is probably my least favorite. I don't know, I just feel like it just doesn't suit as much as the others. And probably because we've got so many open mouth sculpts in the past, so sort of maybe I'm a bit over it. I'm always a fan of the closed mouth sculpts personally. I just find they look more evil, but that's just me. Yes, overall, excellent piece. One thing I forgot as well, probably forgot a few other things I usually do with these videos, is this opens up. You can put cell batteries in there for the light up wrist gauntlet function. It's a shame it doesn't just sort of open up on a hinge, but buttons there to turn it on. So you've got the original biomass that has a light up, you've got the plasma cannon and the wrist computer. So it's an amazing piece. It is very big, as I keep mentioning. It'll definitely stand out in the collection. Of all the Predator pieces we've been given in the past, I'd say this is probably the most fun. You can got so many options of switch outs, like 4 switch outs there. The hand switch outs. If you don't get frustrated by all the plants, it's fun putting together. It'd be a bit of a pain to move, seeing its weight, which is why I didn't put it up on the bench there. So, yeah, is it the best Predator piece I own or have seen? No, I think there's a couple more that I think, even though one of them is probably more simple, that being the Sideshow Maquette, the original one, I still find that's a little better in terms of, you know, body proportions, things like that. And the Cinemaquette, of course, just, it's an amazing piece. And I keep saying, you know, it's not about that getting beaten, in my opinion. It's basically, the artist me is saying, you know, Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa the way he wanted it. It's like someone coming out and saying, you know, we're going to do it better. It's exactly how he wanted it. It's an art piece, and it wasn't about film accuracy with that piece. So that's still my #1 piece in the collection, is the Cinemaquette. I know a lot of people who have seen it and own it feel the same. It's something that needs to really be appreciated in person. But yeah, as I said, I'll be getting that 1/3 from Prime 1 for sure, day 1 pre-order. Anyways, I hope I've given you guys it's been a long video, but I hope I've given you guys a insight into what to expect and what it actually looks like in person, not through stupid, horrible photos on Facebook. You know, you can make up your opinion now if you want to go through with your order, hopefully. I sure did, and I'm not, you know, regretting that at all. I'm very happy to have it as a Predator collector. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.